All right, you guys, super stoked. I'm going to take it out for some real world testing. When I say it, Portzilla. This is the Quartermaster with portals. Man, this thing is so cool. I've ran it all over the couch pounding. So we've done all we can here. Now it's time to go out on the highway and the windy mountain roads, 9% grades, blah, blah, blah. But this is going to be just epic. I mean, just going up this little rock pile here, there's no there's no way, man. I can't do it on the station wagon. I can't do it on my other Quartermaster without portals. This thing just whoop walked up it like no big deal. Um, Technically, portals, people know what they're about, but what makes the Ineos particular tough nut to crack is the full floating rear axle assembly, which actually worked out to our benefit the way our portal system engages or interfaces with that. It's on one of our earlier videos, I kind of go into a deep dive of the portals sitting on the ground, the axles actually on the ground, and show you how that interaction occurs. But you guys, this thing is just, it's Signar, man. It's going to be amazing. So again, this is full street pressure. I do have CTIS, which I'm going to talk about a lot because it is just such a nice thing to have. We did do some reinforcement on this guy. We did some trussing through here. Calculations showed we did need it. Now we're thinking we don't, but you know what? I'm just going to give it a go. And it's not for the portal that needs it. It's for that the outer portion of the knuckle through here. We're worried about that possibly getting some elongation. We're going to go ahead and test and look through that to see if it needs it or not. But man, what a cool setup. This thing is just, it's just, we're not trying to make this into the ultimate rock crawler. That's not its jam. Its thing is comfortable cross-country driving, off-road, washboard, nasty stuff. The limits were, it was a relatively low machine that's relatively heavy. With putting portals on this thing, we are not taking anything away from the roading. We're able to put 37s on this guy, properly geared. Everything is exactly how it should be. The suspension is neutral, which is a critical thing for the Ineos machine. And more importantly, we're not gutting everything out of this. We're not just ripping out things that we don't understand on the engineering. We go ahead and dive into it and understand why it's there. So instead of ripping everything out, putting some typical American Dana type thing in there, nice as much as it may be, the Ineos stuff is extraordinarily well engineered and it's built for a proper purpose. It's going to last a lifetime, well, as long as this vehicle will. And then by integrating the portals into this design, I think we've got a superior product for a machine that's now going to allow you to go to the more extreme off-road end of things. Even if, I guess the best way to put this is, the Unimog is a perfect example. It is primarily an extreme off-road vehicle that we make work better on-road. So we're generally at 50% of its off-road capability. On the extreme side, it's maybe 70% of its off-road capability for a small amount of the time. Putting portals on this thing has now allowed us to put a much, much higher bar of off-road capability. So when we do it, get into those nasty situations, it's far less stressful to the machine, far less stressful to you, and far more capable across the board. So one thing you're going to notice, or notice is not there, not a copious amount of skid plating on this guy yet. That's going to change because I'm going to push the limits. But with the portals, we have the absolutely mandatory, it's our 6061. It's a T6 skid plate with reinforcement to the chassis. Hands down, the strongest in the industry on that, simply because our reinforcement is pretty stout, along with T6 doesn't easily dent through there. Steel works out great, but you got to go really, really thick for steel not to kind of concave or dent in there, and you do pay a weight penalty. Of course, we have our diff skids on there. I do not have the Cross Your Heart bra skid plate on there yet. We're going to come up with something. There's an outfit making something pretty nice out there, but I'm hoping to get the clearance up a little bit higher. Maybe we'll come up with something, or maybe we'll use theirs. And then, of course, we do our own skids for the control arms, which are extra potently strong. Through bolt, twin bolts, 1/4 inch plus another 1/4 inch through here, so those are recessed. So that's never going to fail. You can beat on those things all day long. We're going to have to do something for the front as well on the control arms there. They don't get contacted as often, but you can see there's a lot of open belly through here. But with the amount of ground clearance that we have with these portals, which we're sitting around 17 inches under the diff at regular street pressure. So that's pretty impressive. And then, of course, our rock sliders are way over engineered as far as strength wise to keep those things from deflecting up into the body there. I already got into the rock sliders on the tank trap course through, we call the Dragon's Teeth, some nasty riprap. Oh, and one other thing that's very cool that I have not pointed out before is we do an airbag system, a separate airbag system. You can see your coil spring here. Most people put an airbag in there. Problem is you have chafing in the bag, you have chafing in the coil spring, you get gravel or something in there. It tends to put a hole through the bag, or even potentially worse, put a stress riser, a little crack on your spring, which will snap because of the heat treatment. This setup, we go ahead and offset it outside of your coil springs. Therefore, it gives you much more stability roll-wise, and you're going to see that in a big way on this run because Tao's a madman. He drives way over his head, or the vehicle's head at least, and I'll have to follow him through the corners and not roll it. So if it's a lot of windy road conditions, we'll put an extra 10 pounds in there. Generally with 20 gallons of water, a full load of fuel, and all my camping gear, I'll probably run almost 20 pounds, which gives me an extra, I think it's almost 600 pounds of spring rate. 625 is what we calculated that at. Also, because these airbags are a high pressure bag, I can go all the way to 100. So if I need to tow something big and heavy, I've got that. Also, they are detached from the axle. So articulation, like you can see, is not affected. I don't have to worry about that bag getting flopping around there too much. So that's also a nice little fun thing that we'll go ahead and have released. I think Dirtbox is probably going to sell that product. But overall, it's a beast. We'll see how she does out in the real world. One very nice advantage with the portals, I've been running portals on big, expensive, heavy vehicles since the mid-90s. So I've got a lot of experience with the stuff here. And one benefit that you have, because of that offset axle, it's very easy to run a drilling through there to provide central tire inflation, which of course we've taken full advantage of. Anybody who does that if you make portals without CTIS, man, you're missing half the benefit right there, because washboard and everything else and soft material, and it's just much safer. Before you get into an issue, you could go ahead and adjust your tire pressure going into it, or I'll get a puncture in a tire. I mean, we were doing a job in New Jersey back in the late 90s, and we literally had a vice grip, the adjustable handle end of a vice grip hanging out of a tire of one of our Unimogs going down the throughway there. Unbelievable. Just keep hitting air to it and it keeps it filled up. But as you can see through here, the red lines that we've got, that's our CTIS right now, the way we've got it ran up on my personal vehicle. I'll mix around some things and come up with a slightly different arrangement. But right now, this is what we have. I've got some adjustable tire pressures. I could actually adjust each tire independently, or front axle, rear axle independently from themselves. But the central tire inflation, we'll see if we go ahead and put that into a product that is okay for us to sell to the regular customer. But boy, it's going on mine. It already is. It's a nice thing. So, oh, one other thing I was going to mention too, the portal setup that we've done on this guy, it's not a quadruple gear because of the 4.7 inch, which is what, 150, 120, so about 120 millimeter. I'm thinking, don't beat me up on that math. But 4.7 inches allows us to use a triple gear instead of a quadruple gear setup. So we have our driving gear, counter gear, and our driven gear down through here. They're large gears, they're helical cut, so a little quieter, a little smoother. I don't notice a difference from a quad gear to the helical gear, actual and real term driving. But I can tell you, temperatures on these portals extraordinarily low, way lower than the differentials. The other thing too that we've done that I don't see a lot of people doing is, because of this larger case, instead of doing a T6 or a nodular iron case on these, we're doing a 70-75 billet aluminum case. And then it's a nodular iron knuckle. So safety with nodular iron versus aluminum. Machined aluminum is great stuff, but for production numbers, I think the nodular iron might be the safer way on those components. Eventually, we might do a nodular iron case, but right now we're just doing the 70-75 billet, which was not cheap, but we know is going to hold up to everything. Oil capacity, we are almost triple, at least double plus, almost triple of it. I think most portals are. Even the Unimogs don't hold very much oil in them. It's not really necessary, but what we have designed in this guy, extra oil capacity for longer oil change intervals, and in case you spring a leak, you go quite a bit longer before it starts to do any damage. That is a definite plus. We're holding just at or just over 3/4 of a quart per portal. That is an extraordinary amount of oil per unit. And we're not having the cavitation, the foaming issues, or any of that stuff that we've had to battle, 10 years ago. And one thing too, to keep in mind, these portals don't fit anything else. It is literally just for this vehicle. When we go through doing our portal designs, we don't save money, unfortunately, by making more of a modular system that works great for us being a manufacturer, meaning It's a beautiful thing to be able to have the same body for most stuff and then change some of the other products for different vehicles. Sometimes you have to make adjustments to have this work for everything. Well, with this system here, this is built specifically for the Ineos Grenadier, the Ineos Quartermaster. There are no corners cut. There are no production changes cut to make it fit other things. It is literally just this. If we ever design another portal for a different vehicle, it will be the same thing. We're able to do that through our manufacturing process. Yes, it's a little more expensive. Our stuff's not cheap, but our stuff is top notch and it's designed to give you optimum performance for the life of your vehicle. And that's what you're going to see on this. So we're going to get to the road and hit the mountains and see what happens. We'll hit some deep water. We'll eat some other goodies. It's just going to be nothing but a good time. All right. Door tape. That is where I wish I had another grab handle, which I kind of do. Oh my God. Spider-Man, where are you? CTIS connected. We're on a little testing 101 here with the Grenadiers. So we've got our Grenadier here, tried, true, tested on 35s. Getting ready to do a relatively easy trail, follow with some hard obstacles, but so we need to air down. We all know the scenario. Hook up your hose, do all four if you're fancy, or your deflator, or if you're like me, you always forget something, I've got a pen or a rock I'm sticking in to deflate each one. So you see Tao sitting there getting ready. He's got some semi-fancy. He's doing auto deflators. So anyway, no big deal getting down, but you got to stop, pull over, and make that adjustment. But then, of course, filling up, not good. It just stinks. You got to hook up a compressor, blah, blah, blah. Then you come over to Sicknar, aka Smurf. Totally different animal. I actually put the hubcaps on because we're doing some aggressive testing with this guy. As you can see right here, we're showing no mercy, but we did the hubcaps, which are billet aluminum, to cover up the CTIS. Yes, CTIS, Central Tire Inflation. For those of you who don't know what that is, it's exactly what it says. It's tire inflation that you could roll on the fly. So all we're going to do while I'm driving, I can set the tire pressure, whatever the pressure I want, on the roll, on demand. I could go up or down. I could be doing 80. I could be doing 8. It doesn't really matter. So as we go through the trail, I'll adjust for the conditions. I could do individual tires. I could do front axle together, rear axle together. It's a pretty slick setup. So I'll show you what that looks like inside. Currently, we've got a little read. So the tire inflation system through here right now, I'm going to deflate both axles. I'm going to go up. Boom, and that's where we're going to be at through there. So I'll go ahead and this guy will deflate one tire. When it matches rear. So there are presets in here. We actually have to reflash the computer on this thing to get it to get the settings where we want it. But in the future, we'll probably offer the a 6-channel system that'll give me 4 for the tires, front and rear, and then the number 5 and 6 are going to be for the airbags, so we can adjust the airbags on the fly or have them at presets for different weights. Later on, we'll come up with a new mount for this, but right now, in testing phase, this works out pretty slick. Pretty much one of those life game-changing moments when you're able to actually be on the trail and inflate and deflate as you need it. What you end up finding with CTIS is you utilize that so much more often than, because it's a pain. I mean, he's got to sit there and get the pressure just right, blah, blah, blah. And if you want to change for the situation or circumstances, you just don't do it. You just go for it. So CTIS is a much safer way for off-road, and it leaves a much less of an impact on the trail because I could go ahead and lower that down. Last night running through our test course, I was at 11 in the rear and I think 12 in the front. I'll go lower just to see how it handles where our bead locks, but it's unbelievable. So anyway, we'll see if we're going to be able to offer that to everybody, but I'm definitely offering it to myself. Me and Tao are going to have it. Anyway, we'll have some fun stuff to show you here.
And the rear locker. Whoa. This is ridiculous. There's no challenge right now. I probably could have done that without a rear locker. I feel like really tip over on this angle. Do you want me to spot your tail? I'll be good.
Ineos. It's a gift when you buy 2 cars from the same dealer.
Oh, is it?
So are these folding disposable forks? Yes. Wow. Day 2 on portal testing in the woods, running around camping. So what we got here is our Grenadier modified 35 10.5s, proper springs, proper lifts, skid plates, all of our overland gear and loaded to the 9s, that type of thing. And so that's kind of a good comparison against, you know, this guy over here with the portals on it. So both trucks are heavy. Both trucks are very seriously loaded. I'm running 37s on portals. And again, I'm going to just look at this guy, 35s on portals. And just kind of give you an idea of loaded. We're not ridiculously loaded, but if you look at the back here, step back, you'll see carrying extra diesel for our heater. We've got a full layout back through here. Our plugins through there, our drawer system, everything is full of goodies. So it's not like this guy's light. And I'm in the same boat. I've actually got an extra, oh gosh, almost 20 gallons of water. But oh, and that's right. I'll say we got an auxiliary fuel tank as well. So an extra 17, almost 19 gallons of fuel. So one thing that I just wanted to touch base on is everybody kind of overlooks this, maybe more in the Ineos crowd than others, is, whoops, people with these sweet ass rigs for overlanding don't go camping unless they have a trailer. You don't need to have a trailer. I mean, just I'll do a quick walk around on Signar here, the one with portals. Again, I'm very heavily loaded. This is why it's a testing run, and this is how we would normally go. So fridge setup, slide out drawer setup. I can do all my cook stuff over here. We've got the hitchhiker table hanging on the side. Some Zarges looking boxes here. The dirt box canopy, the dirt box tent on the roof. 270 awning, big water tank. Yeah, it's overkill. You know, some people are gonna be like, well, blah, 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 blah. But you know what? The guys who like to stay at the hotels and don't want to be camping out, maybe you need to take note and just get some of your stuff set up properly, because this is literally 2/3 of the fun is actually camping out, hanging out in the woods, doing your thing. And seeing people rolling by. Yeah, driving's great, but staying in a nice hot shower is great. But hey, we got that here too. Got a hot water system in there with the tank. Take a shower anytime I want. I got the shower awning thing, which is already folded up here to be deployed. I'm actually getting in and out of the camper from the side. I mean, literally, instead of a ladder, I'm just making do with. This is kind of a perfect setup. I just literally climb up through here and I go up into the tent like so. I'll change that around later. But again, whole point of this video is if you guys aren't camping out, running your rigs, you're missing out on half the fun. And it's kind of, we've got everything for that. So it's kind of unfair, but something we want to definitely touch base more on. And I don't do enough of that because I'm always in the shop. So Tal's the one always exploring. I need to take a little bit more time off and explore the backwoods and hopefully not break things. But we'll see. We always run hard, man. That's for sure. We run heavy and we run hard. That's why our products represent what we do. And I think you guys will appreciate that.
More driver.
It's just as bad. It's right in that hole too, Tal.
Yep.
So that's actually the spot to be, unless I could get it way moved over the back end. Okay, this is where all the money is totally worth it to be like showing your friends. We're here airing up because we're gonna run into town and grab some food and some other stuff real quick and head back out to the trail. Mr. T, Tao, is gonna air up. He's getting all his gear ready to go. We had to pull off, find a place to air up, as where you always do. Hook up his compressor, make it all good. This, however, I'm not going to bother airing up until we get onto the pavement because we still got some washboard to go, and I just have to sit there and push 2 buttons to fill up. It's worth it. Just that alone right there. Totally worth it. It's raining, blowing. We can't pull over. I just push the button and go. As we're going down the road through there for miles and miles of washboard and tight corners and whatnot, I'd air it up, air it down. Where he's like, tire's getting hot because he's aired down. Then, it's nice. Final day of our long weekend of portal testing, high-speed rally, rock crawl, gravel road, washboard, drop-offs, heavy brake, emergency braking, heavy acceleration. We're just sitting here making our last evening of camp. Yeah, these things are sick. It's unbelievable. So now we're just hanging out. Mr. Tao's gotten a fire going in one of our cool sites over here, but I will say the overall testing experience has been excellent, amazing. So we'll see what happens with these bad boys on what's going on. I can't, the other thing, this wasn't just about, well, it was supposed to be testing the portals, but it was running all the gear and other things like that. But the focus was the portals, of course, but no complaints. It is the ultimate Grenadier package for sure. So Quartermaster, Grenadier, either way. Anyway, stay tuned. Nice, cool things are happening. Big things.